Let's bring in Julian Hoes. He's an expert in European politics and joins us via Skype from London. Julian, great to have you on the programme. Boris Johnson has hailed what he called the UK's new freedoms. Brexit was, of course, a big political gamble for him. Has it paid off?
Well, we just have to look at the fact that Boris Johnson is Prime Minister, and for all intents and purposes, this was all about, well, Boris Johnson's involvement in Brexit was all about what was best for him, and it has worked out for him. However, for the UK in general, leaving the EU in any state, in any deal, was always going to be negative for the UK, negative for the British, also negative for the EU. However, as we saw throughout the last few years, the EU were constantly preparing and came out of this looking better than the UK has.
And Julian, that's an interesting point you make, because both sides have claimed victory over this trade deal. But is the EU in the stronger position here, do you think?
Well, while it's true that all political entities are always going to cry victory in any circumstance, in any event, the reality is the EU does come out still on top, because the EU is still one of the most integrated markets in the world, which the UK has just left. The EU still has mass free movements of goods, services and people, which is a benefit to the European economy and to European citizens, whereas the UK has effectively isolated itself from its nearest neighborhood based on a very idealized notion of what sovereignty is. And I think it's very important to note that while UK actors in Westminster, even in Scotland in some places, and across the commentary Twitterati sphere, the reality is that while these people harp on about sovereignty, the fact that throughout the negotiations they refused to focus on what was in their best economic interests and decided they wanted as hard a break with the EU as possible, this has led to a damage state for the UK economy, even with the fact that this deal, as we all know, is better than no deal.
Just a final point to you, Julian. I mean, many opponents say the UK will be worse off than it was under the EU, and there's still great uncertainty, as our reporter Andrew Simmons was saying there, about banking and financial services. That's a big problem, because it's a huge part of the UK economy, isn't it? Yes,
of course. And if you look at the deal, which lots of us are currently pouring through when we have spare time from the festivities, the reality is, if we look at the deal, financial passporting is gone. The UK now, and financial entities within the UK now, lose preferential or the access they had to the European markets as they had before. We're hearing stories all over the place of companies that no longer can really trade in Europe because of the fact that in terms of paperwork and cost, it is too much. You have the classification scheme that's coming out in the UK to replace the CE mark that's on all of the packaging that you may have in your house for consumer electronics or other goods that carry it, which is costing, I saw one story from one trader today that's going to cost them £20,000 to replace, which they, as they say, they simply do not have. And in general, it's the entire situation for the UK is net negative. There is no real positive to this deal if you compare it to what was had before. And for all the viewers watching this who haven't switched off for the year yet or don't want to start the next year with too much politics, if you go onto the European Commission website, there are sheets that explain how bad this deal actually is for the UK compared to actual EU membership, and details exactly what the UK has lost compared to membership.
Julian,
and this can be found online.
Great to get your thoughts, Julian. Thank you for talking to us here at Al Jazeera. Thank you.
Thank you.